Our Children's Advocacy Center model is really based in empowerment for the families and the children to receive services in the aftermath of an outcry of abuse. Obviously, during a time when you are first hearing that your child has gone through a horrific situation, you're going through your own trauma of hearing this. And for more than 80% of the families that we're serving, they themselves have been victims of abuse. So it's very triggering for them. We want to make sure that they feel empowered in the decisions that they're making and the choices that they have.
What is a CAC? A Children's Advocacy Center, or CAC, is a child-focused way to handle child sexual abuse cases. In one place, representatives from law enforcement, child protective, prosecution, mental health, medical services, and victim advocacy all work together to conduct an interview and make team decisions in a process that's as easy and effective as possible for a child and his or her family. For Androscoggin, Oxford, and Franklin counties, the CACs are located in a house in Lewiston and in a former school in Farmington. Accredited by the National Children's Alliance, these CACs use a proven model for interviewing children and are held accountable to national standards. When a child sexual abuse case comes up, the family is referred to the CAC. Referrals can only be made by law enforcement, DHHS, or the DA's office, so it all starts with a phone call.
So the referrals that we would make to the Children's Advocacy Center are sexual abuse allegations or any other case that we might get that we think that would benefit from coming to the Children's Advocacy Center and being interviewed by a forensic interviewer.
I think some people think when they call the police or they get involved that everything is now going to be out of their control and it's going to be this big snowball out of control, and it's not. It's a child-focused environment to help the child and the caretaker that is there in support of the child, whatever that looks like.
Obviously, there are emergencies that a CAC can't accommodate, or occasions when it's better for the child to wait. But the CAC's goal is to accommodate everyone as soon as possible.
So we really encourage parents not to talk to their child and ask questions to their child about what has occurred to them, which can be really, really hard. As a parent, you naturally want to make it better. We want their truth to be their words and in their story. Tell them about the CAC, that you're going to be coming to see a space that's built for children or is child-friendly, whatever words make sense for you and your child, but that you just say you're going to go talk to some people who talk to kids. It can be that simple.
It's my job to reach out to the primary non-offending caregiver to talk to them about what to expect when they come. And I let them know that we're just a little house, we're a little tan house. And then I'm the first person they see, hopefully, when they arrive, that greets them and welcomes them into the family room.
Advocate, come on in.
If it's a sexual abuse case, I would offer for an advocate from the sexual assault response team to be present for support for the caregiver and or the children or child.
Come on in. We've got some coloring books. Do you like to color? Yeah. Yeah? I'm Jamie.
When the interview has been set up, I get the invite from the family advocate and I come over here and provide additional support, being that consistent face throughout the legal criminal justice process.
I think one thing that we have learned over the years is for a child to have to come into a police department, into an interview room, is not the setting that we really want a child to have to enter. And when you walk into a CAC, you're walking into a home. And so a CAC is just a warm place for a child to be able to come into, feel safe, and feel that whatever's happened to them wasn't their fault. And that there are individuals that are there and ready to best serve them.
Parents at the pre-meeting are able to hear what the interview layout is going to look like. My team will be observing during the interview, and they'll be the only ones who will leave with a copy of the interview.
Also in that pre-meeting, it's a chance for the non-offending caregiver to meet me. Just allows that face-to-face contact so that we can better develop a rapport and that they can trust me that I'm really here for the benefit of their child.
The CAC is an outside entity. They don't carry with them the weight that maybe a police officer does or a child protective caseworker. does, and they really allow a family a space to talk about hard things and feel supportive in a different way that's not a government entity. We're all there because we care about children and we want kids to be safe and we want families to be happy and healthy.
I asked the parents what else I should know about the child. Are there any special considerations, learning disabilities, behavioral issues, mental health issues, so that I can keep those things in mind while I'm talking with their child.
You pick whichever seat you want to sit in. How are you today? Good. I talk to children, and when there is an allegation of physical or sexual abuse, they're brought to our center, and I interview them. While I'm talking to them, I don't lead them in any way. I don't introduce any information to them. I let them lead the conversation.
And I've interviewed over 600 kids at this point. So for kids, I think I want them to know when they come that nothing they say in the room is going to surprise me or scare me. That's my job, is to talk to kids all day long. I've heard lots of different things. The child's aware from the beginning that they're being watched, it's being recorded. So the DA's office, law enforcement, and child protective are allowed to observe, because the purpose of the interview is for investigative purposes.
As a prosecutor, me being able to digest and look at, all right, what charges are we looking at? What do we think we can charge here? And what can I get so that our case is stronger and easier to prove?
So when the interviews happen, the only person that's allowed in the room with me is the child, unless an interpreter is needed.
To have somebody in there adds pressure to them, and maybe they don't want to let somebody down, or they feel scared to give details or embarrassed to say it in front of somebody else, like their parent. Just the child in there gives them the freedom to be able to say whatever they want to say and to share their story exactly how they want to.
So while the child's in for the interview, my role is to provide support to that non-offending care provider as they're going through this difficult time. So we offer different types of resources. We offer mental health services. We offer the opportunity for special pediatric medical exam. We offer legal services if they qualify. And it doesn't matter to us either way what they decide to choose, but we want them to be aware of what's available in the community to support them and their loved ones.
This way, there's somebody else who gets to help partner with us to ensure that the family is getting those needs met while we're doing our end, and ensuring that safety is occurring for that child.
Sometimes these kids are holding these stories in for years and not telling, and sometimes you're the first person that they tell, and to see that weight come off their shoulders, and you can just see a sense of relief.
Hello, hi Daddy.
You're back!
One of my favorite things is that 9 times out of 10, their child is coming back through that door with a big smile on their face.
After we're all done, we always bring the parent or caregiver back into the room to do a post meeting. So I can let them know how their child did with the interview, but I can't share any specific details or any disclosures that they gave me.
If we limit the amount of information, it's not meant to say, ooh, we're not going to tell you because it's, you know, it's super secret. It's just for law enforcement, we're trying to build a case. The less information that's out there that other people don't know about, the better off our case can be.
We will make that referral to Spurwink so there can be a medical evaluation.
And I'm going to have a conversation with the suspect.
The big thing with the SART advocate, for the family to have somebody that they can reach out to. Before you leave here, you'll get a packet. It'll have my card, my information in there. The legal system can be really confusing, and we want to make sure that there's an advocate who is able to be there to support them throughout the process.
I think children are often comforted when they look at our Comfort Rock Garden to know that there's so many other children that have been here in this space.
You can leave it for another child that might come here, and then on your way out, you get to choose a rock that another child painted.
We want the children to leave here with a positive outlook of what they've done here today. Oftentimes when children have done their interviews, I will talk to them about how brave they are for coming here today and telling their story, and that they should be very proud of themselves.
Even after the interview day, services are there for the family.
After kiddos have completed their interviews at the CAC, they have the option to meet with me, and I complete mental health assessments to identify trauma-related symptoms, changes in behaviors, and assess for the most appropriate treatment recommendation.
Our link partners have signed an agreement with us that our children that come to our center will have priority, so they're not on a wait list. They're put to the top of the list. Again, it's that early intervention, trying to minimize the trauma and the long-term impact. And then we also do a 7-day and a 30-day follow-up call, because there may be things that they maybe didn't think that they needed or they wanted and then they've changed their mind. And we always tell them that if they need any extra support, feel free to call us. We want to advocate for them. We want to support them and wrap our heads and hearts around this family.
And I tell them, I don't care if it's an hour from now or a year from now, once you've been to the CAC, you're part of the family. If you need anything, please do not hesitate to reach out and call me.
Thanks for coming to see me today.
To have this type of trauma as a family, it's scary to go through that. And I would just say to any family member to know that those that are serving in the CAC, they want to serve you. It's more than just the interview. It's the relationship that's built and the relationship that will continue beyond the prosecution.
All of us are very invested to make sure that the family is receiving support and they're able to heal, that they're able to create a new version of their future. And that's going to be different for every single family and for every single kiddo. And that's really why that child has to be at the center of every single thing that we do, from the investigation all the way through to healing and helping to heal. And when we look in their eyes and they tell their truth, whatever that sounds like, and they feel heard, that can shift everything.